How you doing, gentlemen? Welcome back. It's me again, Truck. I decided to make another video. Thank you for all the support on my last video about the 22 caliber and how effective or ineffective, people have said it is. But today, this video is about caliber misconceptions. The other day I was talking about how 22 caliber is actually sufficient. It's better than not having a gun. I don't particularly like 22 because of the rimfire action on it. But let's talk about the scenarios and circumstances, because some people made some valid comments in the comment section about, okay, if there's a mass shooter, do you really want a 22 caliber, to protect yourself? Would you rather have something of a larger caliber? This is actually a 357. It's an Astra 357. This is actually the first gun I ever held in my hand by my Uncle Floyd. This is his gun. In the 1970s, I actually held this gun. And of course, my 380 SIG and my Chief Special 38 Special. Now, here's my thought about that, right? Even in a mass shooting, you still have to exercise situational awareness, right? So, in situational awareness, even if you have a 22, what do you do if somebody's mass shooting? Now, the FBI, I saw a couple of videos and trainings on mass shootings, and this is something interesting I found. Excuse my sophisticated graphics, right? Look, see how sophisticated that is? I'm awesome, right? Okay. Um, what happens is when people come in the front door and they're a mass shooter, right? They have something called the cone of death. And these two lines right here signify that this is actually the door down here. And here are the safe zones, because what happens is they notice the patterns, they study all these different mass shootings, and they realize there's a pattern. Most of the dead people were in this area, and the people that survive are over here. Why? Because the people were getting tunnel vision. The guys or whoever went in and shot up wherever, they had tunnel vision, and they did not look to the right or the left. So you as a concealed carrier, if you exercise situational awareness, one, you're not going to sit with your back to the door. That's the first thing. Two, if you're in a crowded theater or a crowded restaurant, something like that, you might want to sit. If you have a choice, you might want to choose these areas to sit near the window or wherever how restaurants are. Sit there, because even if you have a 22, you can still drop to the knee, shoot up, and hit the guy, right? The reason why I'm saying shooting up is because you don't want to be shooting straight, at somebody when you're in the restaurant, because you can shoot other people on the side of the restaurant. But if you drop to a knee and you shoot up at the person, want the bullets hit and rise up high to the ceiling, you know, you can practice that at the most ranges, right? So that's what I'm saying about these caliber misconceptions. So yeah, if you hit somebody with my 357, this is a 4S 357 that I nicknamed the Mule because it kicks like a mule. It sounds like a blue whale farted or something. You know what I mean? If a blue whale stuck his tail out the water and just let one loose, it sounds like that. It's that loud. It's actually as loud as my Mossberg 500 with I say it's about equal with double I buck in it. Not a slug, but double I buck. That's how loud this gun is, especially with a hot load. So mass shooting, of course, you will want multiple rounds just in case you miss. But nobody's going to be able to go up against a guy that has a rifle with any handgun. Everybody knows that. But if he has you in the sights. But if you're on the side of him, if he doesn't see you, even if you're in a Wawa, my area, Delaware Valley is basically, a bunch of Wawas and, little convenience stores or any stores, I think down south you got the Deets, you got the Piggly Wiggly, wherever it's going to be, you ever going, potentially somebody rob you, you actually have the option of just sitting behind a shelf or sitting behind one of the shelves where the groceries are at, and you can just wait. 9 times out of 10, if they're in there to rob a place, they're not going to come back looking for you. They're looking for the money at the register, right? And then if you really do, you think somebody's in danger, you think they might kill somebody, you always have time to sneak up, you know, Everything's not like a movie. I mean, even if you were to shoot into the air doing a robbery, a guy. See, let me let me school you on something. When people break in your house, they don't break in the house unless it's a home invasion, making a lot of noise. Everything shh, they're asleep. Or, yo, don't make any noises, no glass breaking or anything, because we don't wake the neighbors. When people go stick up places, they don't want no gunshot, because if you look at any video on YouTube about a shooting, you will see that when somebody behind the counter is shooting at them, they're not sticking around. They're shooting back at you and they're backing out the door. They're trying to get out of there. They're not trying to hang around and have like a TV or movie shootout with you. They see you have a gun. They're not trying to get shot. They may be trying to shoot you, but they are not trying to get shot. They're trying to get out of there. And that's why, there's all this stuff about, oh, I got a 45. Oh, I got a 357. Oh, I've owned all those guns. I had a 45 at a Springfield Army 45. I loved it. In the future, I might get another 1911. But I found that through life experience, at first I used to listen to all the people that I used to read magazines about hydrostatic shock of a 40 caliber. I owned a 40 caliber at one time. Hydrostatic shock of a 44 mag. I actually owned a nice Smith and Wesson 44 mag model 29. Also owned all kinds of other calibers and stuff like that. But look what I have right now. This is after almost 30 years of carrying guns or having gun for home protection. Look, they're all 30 caliber weapons, all of them. you know, except for they're all 30 caliber, you know. So to me, it's about necessity. Now, if you want to go out and get a 45 or a 40 caliber, more power to you. I'm not going to hate on you and nothing like that because I've owned them. I like them. I always thought the 40 caliber was snappy, but I loved it. You know what I'm saying? I only sold my 40 caliber because I needed the cash. You know what I'm saying? And if I had it, I'd still have it. But it had a purpose. That gun had a purpose for me. It served me as a certain type of person. It fit a need that I had, right? So it doesn't really matter what gun you have because if you put out 5 rounds out of any one of these guns quickly and accurately into somebody that's trying to attack you or a mass shooter or something like that, it's a wrap. They're not going to stop. You're going to drop their blood pressure. You're going to hit a lung. You're going to hit the liver. You're going to hit the spleen. They're going to bleed out. They're going to start, once that blood pressure starts dropping, they're not going to be able to move. And 9 times out of 10, once you hit them, they're not going to continue to advance. You know, I was talking to a couple of friends of mine, and I was telling them, I've never seen anyone, I've seen people get robbed. And I know that when somebody actually pulled a gun on them, they start backing up. And that's what you want. You want people to back up off you. It's not all about getting the kill, scoring the kill. Because, to be honest with you, have you ever thought about killing somebody and how that might make you feel for the rest of your life? Even though you did it to protect yourself and your family, you might not feel guilt at the beginning, but then when you hear the guy's name, right? When you find out he had a mom, he had a father, he had children that he may have been trying to feed, you know, how will you feel or think then? You know what I'm saying? Is your property, you have to think about, is your property worth killing someone for? I keep insurance on everything. So, no, my car's not worth a life. It's not. It's just not. My home is not worth a life. Unless you try to hurt me in it, then yeah, it's on and cracking. Then you get an entire magazine. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna pop in another one. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about situational awareness and actually, you know, accurate shooting. You guys practice how to shoot all the time. Hopefully, just practice getting 5 rounds off out of whatever gun you have. I'm not knocking if you have a 45 or 40 or 50, even if you're carrying a Judge Taurus or a 50 cal. But if you can't get 5 rounds downrange, and I'm talking about past 7 yards, I'm not just talking about 7 yards, I'm talking about uh, 25 yard, 15 to 25 yards. You need to be able to get off 5 rounds as fast as you possibly can, downrange into a target accurately. And then for these movie theaters, this is something I wanted to bring up about movie theater shootings. I know a lot of you guys are going to ignore those signs, because I know I used to ignore those signs when I used to go to this one particular movie theater in I think it was in Salem, PA, or something like that. I used to ignore it because that was right after the Aurora shooting out there in Colorado. And one thing you have to beware of is because over here on the East Coast, our theaters are pretty big, but there are two entrances into the theater, so you have to be mindful where you sit in them. So if you're in a movie theater, of course, you have those stadiums theaters. You have the stadium here. You have an entrance on that side. You have an entrance on that side. So if they come in, they're going to turn. So that means this whole cone, that's the cone of death. They come on this side, that's the cone of death if they're shooting up, or down there if they're shooting down. But more likely they're going to shoot up because that's where the most people are, right? So what you want to do is you want to sit up in the stadium side over to the wall. Where you can look down, maybe drop something on somebody. Sit there. Because if you're sitting down front, they're going to shoot you. And then what you want to do also is, if you're in a situation like that, be careful, because heads will be popping up. When people just get up and start running, they panic. You have to be very careful about your shot. Be careful. Seek cover. Get on your belly on the ground. You know what I'm saying? And try to look at and see where this cat is. And then, try to get off a shot as accurately as possible. And for that situation, you're going to have to shoot out past 25 yards probably, depending on the size of the theater you're in. So, you really need to practice up to 25 yards and beyond if you're actually going to be able to defend yourself or the people in the theater or your family. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about accuracy, all about, being kind of on yellow alert, like they always say, or just being straight up paranoid. Unfortunately, it's sad. That's the country we live in right now. Back in the day, I never thought about bringing a gun to a movie theater. Are you kidding me? Or even to a church. I never thought about concealed carrying a gun to a church. I used to feel guilty about bringing a gun just in the parking lot. I had to lock my gun in my glove compartment, my trunk. I used to feel so bad. But now it seemed like a valid concern. So gentlemen, please be safe, and don't just work on your tactics, your mindset. Work on those things, and those things will keep you out of trouble more trouble than any gun can get you out of. You know what I'm saying? It'll save your life if you just work on how you think. What's going to be worth it? What's not worth it? What is and what nots? When you go into a place, think about those things. That way you'll be safe. This is a long video, but I hope this video has found you guys in perfect peace. And I pray the Lord bless you. And I pray that you are in Jesus Christ and you found Him as your Lord and Savior. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen. God bless you, brothers. Check me out on Instagram. All right, now.